Islam has a long history in Russia, dating back to the 7th century when it was first introduced by traders and scholars from the Middle East and Central Asia. Despite various challenges, Islam has survived and thrived in the regions that are now part of the Russian Federation. After experiencing a period of repression during the Soviet Union, the revival of Islam in Russia in the late 20th and early 21st centuries is an interesting phenomenon worth studying. Islam first entered Russia through trade routes along the Volga River and the Caucasus region. In the 10th century, the Khanate of Volga Bulgaria, in modern Tatarstan, became the first Muslim state in Russia after officially adopting Islam in 922. Over time, Islam spread to various regions, including Dagestan, Chechnya, and Bashkortostan. When Tsar Ivan IV, Ivan the Terrible, conquered Kazan and Astrakhan in the 16th century, many Tatar Muslims experienced discrimination and forced conversion to Orthodox Christianity. However, in the 18th century, Tsar Catherine II took a more tolerant approach by establishing the Orenburg Muslim Spiritual Assembly, an official body to oversee Islamic affairs. After the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, Soviet policies toward Islam became increasingly harsh. Mosques were closed, madrasas were disbanded, and religious practices were banned. Muslims who tried to maintain their religious identity were often persecuted. However, Islam continued to survive in secret, especially in regions such as Chechnya, Dagestan, and Tatarstan. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia adopted a more democratic system of government and granted freedom of religion. Islam flourished again, with mosques and madrasas being built in many regions. Muslim organizations also became active, including the Russian Council of Muftis, which became one of the main authorities in the Muslim community. Despite the growth of Islam, Muslim regions such as Chechnya experienced prolonged conflict due to separatist wars against the Russian government. Extremist movements also emerged, leading to tighter control of Muslim communities by the Russian government. However, most Muslims in Russia choose a moderate and peaceful path in practicing their religion. Currently, Islam is the second largest religion in Russia after Orthodox Christianity. With a population of around 20 million Muslims, around 15% of the total population, Islam has a significant influence in Russian social and political life. The construction of large mosques, such as the Moscow Cathedral Mosque, which was inaugurated in 2015, has become a symbol of the revival of Islam in Russia. The revival of Islam in Russia cannot be separated from the role of Muslim figures who are struggling to rebuild Islamic identity amidst social and political challenges. Here are some important figures who have played a role in the development of Islam in Russia. As chairman of the Russian Council of Muftis, Ravil Gainuddin is one of the most influential figures in the Russian Muslim community. He is active in fighting for Muslim rights, building mosques, and establishing relations with the Russian government and the international Muslim community. One of his achievements was the inauguration of the Moscow Cathedral Mosque, one of the largest mosques in Europe. Akhmad Kadyrov is one of the most controversial Muslim leaders in modern Russian history. Initially supporting Chechen separatists, he later switched to supporting the Russian government and became president of Chechnya in 2003. He played a key role in the reconstruction of Chechnya after the war, although his approach was often criticized as being too close to Moscow. As a Muslim scholar and imam at the Moscow Memorial Mosque, Shamil Alyatdinov is known for his modern approach to preaching. He actively spreads Islam through social media and writes books about Islam aimed at the younger generation of Russian Muslims. Along with the rise of Islam, the construction of religious infrastructure has grown in Russia, including Moscow Cathedral Mosque, inaugurated in 2015. This mosque has become a symbol of the revival of Islam in Russia with a capacity of over 10,000 worshippers. Islamic University of Russia, an Islamic higher education institution established in Kazan, Tatarstan, to produce Muslim scholars and academics. Increase in Islamic media. Many Islamic media, such as websites, TV channels, and social media, have begun to develop to spread moderate Islamic preaching. Despite its rapid growth, Islam in Russia still faces several challenges, including stigma and tight surveillance. Some Muslim groups face discrimination due to the Russian government's anti-extremism policies. Lack of clerics and Islamic education. Many Muslim communities struggle to find well-trained clerics due to the influence of secularism during the Soviet era. Relations with the government. Islam is often used in political strategies, especially in Russia's relations with the Muslim world.